This week on Flick News, we talk about the quick stats, but also the regional nature of the housing market right now. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Flick News here. Just want to catch you up on what's going on in Summit County here. We are having some construction going on in our office right now, so if you hear some banging and drilling in the background, that's what's going on. But we want to get the Flick News to you, so we're going to do it. Let's start with the quick stats real quick. New listings in the last 7 days, 29 new listings, 22 properties have gone pending, 26 properties have sold or closed, and 17 properties have price reduced. Active listings, we're looking at, so we ended last month with 669 active listings. May of 22, a year ago, we ended with 811. Today we're at 693. Now of those options, we've broken the 300 barrier. We're up to 305. We were kind of hovering around 250 there for a while. I personally like to see a bit more inventory, one, because it gives us great options, but as a buyer, you want to see that inventory increasing to not only give you options, but also competition between the units. But are we going to hit that number? Last summer we hit 450. We went just over 450 options. That was in July. Are we going to get to that number or not? Because clearly, we're at 693. So let's say we're just under 700 here. Last year at the end of May, we were at 811. So we were at a higher inventory at that time. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Typically, we do peak at that, July 4th, just a couple of weeks after that. So keep your eye on that. We certainly will be as well. I wanted to talk also about an article that I read on Bigger Pockets. Bigger Pockets is a podcast that I listen to. It's about real estate investing. It's about the real estate market in general. It's more focused on residential investing as opposed to commercial investing and apartments and things like that. However, they do touch on that a little bit. But they do a lot on the residential housing market and real estate market in that area, because that's where a lot of folks get started on their investing journey. And this gentleman, Dave Meyer, he is not only an investor, but the VP of Data Analytics, and he analyzed 295 housing markets across the country. Essentially what he's found was that, yes, those headlines you're reading about the housing market being down across the nation are true. But there's a caveat to that. There are very few markets that are bringing down the national average, really. And those markets are probably where you've heard. Austin, Texas was one that just was going nutso. And now we're seeing, that 14% decline there. Boise, Idaho was going nutso. We're seeing that 12% decline there. Denver was really going crazy. It was at one point down 6%. But now, when I'm talking to my fellow brokers down there and mortgage associates down there, seems to be picking back up. So I bet you that we're going to chew through that decline pretty quick as we're in the getting into the summer season here. So there's a few major markets, Seattle, Phoenix, Los Angeles, that are bringing down the overall average. When you analyze the regional areas, there are certainly a lot of areas that are actually still up. So the point of this is take that with a grain of salt. When you're reading those headlines on whatever news organization you're on about the housing market, because it is very regional based right now on where you're going. Our market is a very unique market in that we're a second home market. We're not really for investors. We pull a lot of folks from Denver, a lot of folks from out of state. About 30% are primary owners here, so things look a little bit differently and move a little bit differently here. What I would say is our housing market down? I'd say we're at a plateau now. Interest rates went up. We kind of took a little bit of a dip in certain areas. Other areas are still going up, kind of at that plateau, normalizing that real estate market. I really think that that's the takeaway from this article. It's called "What an Analysis of 295 Housing Markets Told Me About the National Market." And this guy's pretty brilliant. He shows all the graphs to back it up. Median sales prices in certain areas, year over year percent change, 2008 to 2023. He went back to 2018, and then kind of segmented out certain areas like Boise, Madison, Wisconsin, Orlando, Florida, Rochester, New York, and put them against each other. Take a look at that, Google it, I'm sure it'll come right up. Bigger Pockets is the blog there that I'm referencing here. And if you have any questions about our particular market, certainly reach out to me, teamflick@summitliving.com, and we'll catch you next week for another episode of Flick Knows.